Hello everyone, welcome to the Penguin Coders. In this video, we will be designing the layout of our to-do list application. As you can see on the screen, I have two activities which I am going to design in this video. So on the left is the splash screen activity and on the right is our main activity. In the main activity, we will be designing the layout of the Recyclerview as well as the individual tasks which are card views. And also we will be designing the layout of the adding a new task which is a bottom sheet layout. So let's get started. Open up your Android Studio and start a new Android project. I will choose empty activity here. In the project template, click on next. Enter the name of the application as do it and leave everything to default. Language should be Java and click on finish. So after the project is loaded, you can see there are two files opened, Activitymain and mainActivity.java. We will start our design phase by designing the Activitymain.xml. Hide the left portion and we can start it. So we will remove the default stub code here and we will be writing our own code to design the layout. I will be adding a relative layout here and I will be adding the necessary configurations, Android layout height. Press Alt Enter so that we can add the namespace, and layout height is equals to match parent. Android layout width equals match parent. So this completes our layout declaration and we will proceed to declaring the individual components. As you saw in the application, we have a text view which shows in bold tasks written on it just as a heading. So we will be adding that and we can add it to wrap content and height will be wrap content. Also we will be adding an ID to the text. So Android ID equals plus ID slash task text. Yes. So after this, let's make the style as bold. Android text style equals bold. And the text, I will be adding first the Android text so you can see the changes which I am making. So for now, I will be adding the text as tasks. As you can see, it is now being displayed in the right in the design view. So tasks is there. Now I'll be adding the individual styles. Android text color, I will keep the color as black, so I will be adding Android color black. Now then we will be adding the attribute Android layout margin start, because we want to keep the task a little bit on the right side and below. So margin start will be keep it as 16 dp and the margin bottom is required so that it creates a necessary margin between the text and the actual tasks which are listed in the Recyclerview. So I'll keep that as also 16 dp and the margin top I will keep that to as 16 dp. And the text size, I should increase the text size so that it looks a bit larger. So I'll add 32 space. Now it looks good, the task layout. Okay, now we have completed everything here and we can close this element. Now after the task, we have a Recyclerview to be added. So for adding the Recyclerview, we first need to import Recyclerview in our Android build.gradle file. Open the project layout and Gradle scripts, build.gradle module app. Here we will be adding the Recyclerview implementation Android x.recyclerview codes Recyclerview and you can add the version which is here. Currently, as of writing, the latest version is 1.1.0, so I'll be adding this. And also our floating action button is part of Google's material library, so I can add it here only. Implementation com.google.android.material material and the version name which is as of writing 1.1.0. So now I need to sync the Gradle files for it to work. Let it happen. Okay, we have the Recyclerview and the material view imported here, so we can close this build.gradle and go back to our Activitymain. Here we will be adding the Recyclerview. You can type out Recyclerview and it will come. The layout would be match parent because we require the layout width to be completed and the task should be expanded to the whole white screen. So I'll keep this as match parent, and the layout height would be wrap content. Okay, now we need to add an ID also to the Recyclerview. So I'll be adding an ID, Android ID equals new ID, and here I'll be adding tasks Recyclerview. Now I need to store the tasks below our heading here, so I will put a attribute layout below, Android layout below equals, and I'll be keeping it as tasks test. So as you can see, we have our Recyclerview stored here, and we need to add an layout manager for the Recyclerview. So we will be adding a layout manager which can be added as app layout manager. Layout manager is necessary so that we can have either a linear layout or a grid layout in our application. I will be adding the linear layout manager because our task will be stored horizontally. Now, if you want to enable scrolling in your application when there are more number of tasks which can be accommodated in a single screen, you need to add nested scrolling enabled true. So I'll be adding nested scrolling enables equals true. This completes our Recyclerview, and now we need to add a floating action button on the bottom right of the screen. So let me start by importing it. So I'll be importing a floating action button. Yeah, we have imported that, and the context will be wrap content. The height will be wrap content. I can add an ID to it. So I'll be adding the ID as Android ID equals plus FAB for the floating action button. Now I need to make sure that the button which I've added, which is currently at the top left of the screen, should be at the top right of the screen. So to do that, let me add some attributes here. So Android align parent bottom equals true, and we need to align it to parent end also so that it's in the right part of the screen. So align parent end equals true. Now as you can see, it's gone to the extreme right, bottom right of the screen. It's very inconvenient there, so we need to add some margins to bring it to a decent space above that. So let me add some margin to the floating action button. So Android layout margin equals 32 dp. I'll be adding that. Now you can see it's a bit away from the borders and it looks good. Also, we need to change the color of our floating action button to match the app's theme. So I'll be changing the color of the background. To change the color of the background, let me add a background tint. And the color which I have chosen for this application is present as Android color holo green dark. You can take it from the standard colors which are present in the Android application. Also, we need to add a plus button here. In order to do that, I will have to add a new drawable to my application, which I will be doing here. Go to project view, then go to res drawable and click on right click and add a new vector asset. Now click on the clip art button and search for add. So we have the add button here. Click on add, click on OK, and you can choose the size here. So for my application, I'll be using 32 dp, and I can rename it to add. So the color which I require for my application is white. So I'll be choosing here as white, or you can also manually enter the value of white color as all Fs. So click on next and finish. So it adds a add vector to my application, and I can proceed to add this to my floating action button. So add it as Android src equals @drawable / baseline add. Now you can see I have added the plus button and it's visible here with the plus button. So this completes my main activity screen, and now I will be proceeding to the recycler view, add the layout for the specific individual tasks which are being displayed on the screen. So I'll go to project and layout, and I'll be adding a new layout here. So click on new file and name it as task layout, task layout.xml. So this is the task layout which we are going to add in an application. So a task layout is created by a card view which is present when you import the Recyclerview. So I'll be adding a card view to my application. So androidx.cardview.widget cardview. This is the individual task layout. Now I can define the layout width and the height of the card view. So layout height equals match parent. Height should be wrap content, and add the namespace here. Okay, we will move the namespace to the top, and let's move Android layout height is there, then layout width will be match parent because we require the card view to take the entire length of the screen. Okay, so we will also define some other Cardview variables such as app card elevation. So we need to define the namespace. So Alt Enter, and this is the namespace defined here. I'll move it to the top. Okay. Now I can add the card elevation. Card elevation is how much you want your card to be elevated from the screen. You can keep it as 0 if you don't want your card to be elevated. For my application, I'll be adding 4 dp here, which will make the card look a little bit elevated. And we will be adding a little bit of corner radius, which I can add by card corner radius, and I'll be keeping that as 8 dp in order to make it a bit rounded. We can add the margins required to our card view. So I'll be adding layout margin horizontal equals 16 dp. So margin horizontal is basically what you want the card to be from your left and right screen of the Android mobile. So vertical equals 8 dp. So 8 dp is because I want each of the card to be little bit separated from each other so that they don't overlap. Now we need to define a layout inside the card view so that we can add our text and the checkbox there. So I'll be defining a relative layout inside that. Okay, we can keep both as wrap content, and I want to give a padding of 8 dp. Okay, so inside the relative layout, I'll be adding a checkbox which is required to see our text content. So the checkbox will have the width and height as wrap content because this is just a text, and also I'll be requiring to add a ID to my checkbox, and this checkbox is the ToDo checkbox. So now I have added everything in the checkbox. Now you can see I have a checkbox being displayed here. Okay, so I will be adding a sample text to my application so that you can see how it looks on your real screen. So tools text equals This is an sample task inside the application. Okay, so as you can see here, we have the task being displayed here. Now we want to give a little bit of separation between the checkbox and the actual task. So I'll be adding a padding to my checkbox. So I'll be adding a padding start equals 8 dp. This would be sufficient. So I have now a sufficient space between my checkbox and the task. Okay, so now I want to also make my checkbox to match the theme's color. So I can change the button tint, which will change the color of the button, and I will be adding Android color holo green dark to the same, and you can see it's converted to green color. To show you more, I can just put it Android checked equals true, and you can see that the color is green. For default reason, we will mark it as unchecked, so I'll remove this line. Okay, so this completes our checkbox and also the relative layout. So this is the whole task layout which we have completed here. Now we will move to add the layout for adding a new task, which is a bottom sheet layout. So move to the project view, and in the layout, add a new file and name it as new task.xml. Okay, we have our new task.xml. So I'll be adding a relative layout here, and I can define the Android layout width and height. So width will be match parent, and the height of the add task will be wrap content, so that we do not exceed the whole page, because we want the new task to be a small and concise bottom sheet layout. Okay, so and also this is the relative layout. In that we will be having a edit text to add the task. So the layout width would be match parent because we want the entire screen, and the height will be wrap content. Now this, as you can see with the edit text, I have an edit text appearing here. In the application I don't have it, so I want to remove this text. So I'll be adding a background, Android background equals, and I'll keeping it as @null. So this will remove the horizontal line which you get below the edit text. Okay, so and then we will also need to add an ID to our edit text. So edit text ID equals new task text. Okay, then we will define the appearance of our task. So the text appearance should be @style /text appearance and app compact medium. So this will enable us to actually write the task in a medium font, and we want to show something to the user so that he can add a new task. So I'll be adding an Android hint to our edit text, and this will be new task. Okay, so new task, as you can see, it's being displayed there. So this completes our edit text. Now we need to add a button which would enable us to save the task. So this is a button layout, very simple layout. Width will be wrap content and height will be wrap content. And we need to add an ID to our button so that we can work in the Java code with this ID, Android ID plus new task button. So this is it, and the button has appeared, and we need to just make sure that it's at the right side of the edit text. So I will be adding it Android layout below, So it should be below the new task text. So I have added it here, and also we want this button to be at the right side. So I will align it with parent end. Layout align parent end equals true. So now it has moved to the right side of the screen. Okay, then I have the text size. So Android text size equals 16 dp, 16 sp for our task. Our save button. Now the text of this button will be save equals save. Okay, so it's currently showing all caps, so we need to modify that, and Android text all caps equals false. Now it's showing the exact, and also you can see that there is some grayish button here appearing here, so we need to make it transparent. So I'll make that as transparent also. So I'll set the background, Android background equals @Android color transparent. So color will be transparent. Yes. Now you can see the button is looking good. We need to change the color of the button so that it looks disabled by default. So we can choose a grayish color actually. So Android text color will be Android color darker gray. Okay, fine. We have now completed our new task layout also. So okay, this, and now we will move on to create our splash screen activity and the layout for that. So instead of creating a new file in the layout section, I will be creating a new activity, because we need to write the code for the splash screen activity later on. The Java code has also to be written. So I'll be adding an empty activity to the application, and we will be renaming it as splash activity. Yes, I want to generate a layout file, so keep it checked. The activity layout name will be activity splash. It's a launcher activity because we'll be needing this to launch the application. So this will be the first screen which will appear. So I'll be keeping this as the launcher activity. It will change the manifest file to make this activity as the launcher activity. So, and then finish. Click on finish. Okay, now I have the splash screen activity Java code shown here. It's ready. And also we have the activity splash.xml, which is the splash screen activity which I want to update it. So delete the stub code and we can add a new layout to our activity. I'll be keeping a relative layout, and I'll be Android layout width equals match parent. So first let me add the namespace. So move the namespace to top, and we have it match parent, and the Android height will be match parent. So in the relative layout, we need to add the logo of our application. First, we need to make the background of this layout to match the apps theme, which is holo green dark. I'll update the background of our layout with Android background equals Android color holo green dark. So as you can see the preview, it has been updated. And now I will add a image view so that I can display the logo. So layout width, I'll keep it as 200 dp because I want to center my logo on the screen center. So 200 dp, otherwise it will actually expand to the whole screen. Now also the Android src. Okay, so for the src we need a source file. So go to the project view and we will be adding a new source file to it. I have my application icon ready in the desktop. I will just copy it and go to Drawable, copy, and then paste. So Drawable, okay. So I have the icon ready. So src equals @drawable. Okay, we need to actually rename it to small. So I'll just rename it, and do it icon will become icon.png refactor. So now you can see it should appear in here. Drawable /icon. Yeah. Okay. So now I have my icon being displayed here. We just need to make sure that it's in the center of the whole screen. So Android, we can just keep it as center in parent, layout center in parents equals true. As you can see, now the splash screen activity has also been completed. So this completes our tutorial. In this tutorial, we added all the layouts for all the activities. We added the splash screen. We added the main activity, which has all the necessary code for the Recyclerview and the floating action button. We added the layout for new task here, and we added the layout for individual task, which is a card view embedded with a checkbox and the relevant text view. This completes our tutorial, and hope you enjoyed this. In the next video, we will be learning about how to create a new task in the application and how to display it on the Recyclerview. For the previous videos and the whole series, you can see the link in the description. If you like the tutorial and if you want to learn more Android tutorials such as this, you can subscribe to my channel, and please do like, share the video. Thank you.